And I commend this bill to the House. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
I understand the next call is a split call. Denise Roach.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker. Tēnā koutou I te whare. Ki nā rangatira o Ngati Haua, me Ngati Koroki Kahukura I te whare. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. I'd like to acknowledge the people in the gallery today from Ngati Koroki, Kahukura and Ngati Haua, and I maintain that to stand in this House to speak on these bills is a privilege, and it's a privilege to speak on your bills. Each of the iwi who are recognised in this bill are recognised through separate pieces of legislation, but it's going through together as part of the proceedings. So I will speak mostly on the Ngati Koroki Kahukura bill, while my colleague Catherine will speak on the Ngati Haua settlement after me. I'm mindful that the treaty settlement bills, when it comes to this House, it represents decades of work across generations. And I pay tribute to those who have bravely fought for justice and to bring it to this House. And I acknowledge the struggle it has taken to have this legislation brought here today. I think one of the most important aspects of the bill is that together with the deed of settlements, they record the historical nature of the grievances that the bill seeks to address, and it also records the apology from the Crown. The grievances that the Ngati Koroki Kahukura bill addresses date back to the 1860s and, of course, the wars in the Waikato. In July 1863, the Crown invaded the Waikato, as we've heard, and some Ngati Koroki Kahukura were killed, and their rangatira, Te Oriori, was among some who were captured. Te Oriori was captured while he was going to the aid of a wounded British soldier, an officer. He was eventually released, but Ngati Koroki Kahukura were labelled as rebels by the Crown, and their land was confiscated. From 1865, with the creation of the Native Land Court, more land was alienated and large areas of land were sold by individuals without reference to hapu or iwi. And this included the land in and around Maungatautari, Ngati Koroki Kahukura's ancestral mountain. So by the end of the 20th century, Ngati Koroki Kahukura was left virtually landless. By 1901, the iwi had been involved in more than 50 native land court hearings, and this has contributed to their alienation from their land. The bill recognises the relationship with Ngati Koroki Kahukura and that iwi has with Maungatautari, and as it does also with the Waikato River. Ngati Koroki Kahukura is defined as part of the Waikato Tainui under the Waikato River Settlement Act 2010, and they will continue to be represented by the Waikato Raupatu River Trust. However, with this bill, Ngati Koroki Kahukura will have co-management enshrined in legislation and acknowledged, and they will receive the tools to enact integrated river management plans for the awa in their own domain. The settlements includes $3 million for financial and commercial redress and $3.2 million in cultural redress, and the return of some lands and the right of first refusal for other properties. Now, I have to state for the record that as Greens, we don't believe this is a full and final settlement, despite how that is referred to in the settlement. The ramifications of the Crown's actions are not final because generations to come will still be affected. And we believe that this is a deal. It's the best deal that iwi can get. But Ngati Koroki Kahukura's generosity in accepting the financial and cultural redress package when it in no way fully compensates for what has been lost should be acknowledged. And there's also the issue of the Crown determining who they will negotiate with and who they won't. And this was stated very clearly in the submission from Ngati Koroki Kahukura that they made on the Raukawa bill. And we become increasingly concerned that the recognition that the Crown accords to some and not to others can set Māori against Māori and create more grievances. Having said that, I acknowledge that today is to be celebrated. And I acknowledge the huge generosity that this iwi has taken on the part of creating the settlement today. Thank you. We will be supporting this bill.
I call Catherine Delahunty.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker. Tēnā koutou te whare. He mihi nui ki te tangata whenua o Waikato, Ngati Kahukura Koroki, me Ngati Haua. It's very humbling to speak here today. I am a neighbour from Hauraki. I want to acknowledge